When designing a new cabinet, you want it to have features that you don't see in a lot of other machines. This one has two really cool features that we'll go over. One of my most requested items on new builds are an active marquee screen. For you guys that are wondering what an active marquee screen is, it's basically the header of the machine, the one that just changed right here. On original cabinets, like this one back here, it is a backlit area with a light with the name of the game that's static, stationary. With an active marquee, it changes for each individual game. The problem with an active marquee screen is the size and cost. LCD screen, active marquee of this size can cost over $1,000 for the screen itself. Here's one that's a much smaller screen, and this is a point of sale display, which is an active marquee. But you can see when we put it up here against that, you can see the size difference. It is just so small compared to what we have up here. But this is a point of sales display that has basically been repurposed or refurbished in most cases. So not only are they expensive, but the warranty on these are usually very limited. One of the other features that we get requests for are screens that have the proper aspect ratios for the games. This is one of the complaints that we get with a new 16:9 screen that everybody uses now, just because a 4:3 is so hard to find. When playing a old game, you'll get the little bezel or black bar to keep the aspect ratio proper. If not, you can set it to stretch across the whole screen, but it changes the way that the original game looks. We looked around to see what the biggest 4:3 screen that they are manufacturing, and it is a 24-inch, which is pretty small considering new cabinets. This one here has a 43-inch in it. It is a 16:9. We even built a bigger cabinet that houses a 50. This is a 43, but the largest 4:3 LCD screen that you can get right now is a 24, which is pretty small. Even back in the day, you could get them with 29-inch CRT tubes or 33-inch CRT tubes. But that 24-inch 4:3, it starts out at $800. And while designing this to have a new active marquee screen, we also were able to get a 34-inch 4:3 LCD screen. And on the screen, this is done through the software. Let me show you right here when the play area comes up. It's got the bulbous curve, like the old CRT tubes, and it has a CRT filter, so it makes it look like a CRT tube, or more like a CRT tube. And that's all done through the software. We'll go through how we did this when designing. It's a really cool concept. So how we came up with this is back at our old shop, we were doing white label builds for some other companies. Basically, we built a bunch of cabinet shells and sent them to other companies. I'm not going to go through the list of the companies that we made them for, but we did a joint collaboration with the cabinet design / software with Dennis over at Phantom Arcades. So he did the software and we built the cabinet, and we collaborated to make this happen. But here's how we ran across it. I'll insert a picture here in a minute. We saw a lot of people building vertical cabinets that had an active marquee integrated in the overlay at the top of the screen. I built a prototype of one of those for Dennis, and we thought it was pretty cool. The only thing I never liked is at the top of the screen, it just had one area with no divide. This made it look, like a clear process done through software. So on our vertical, which I'll insert a picture in just a second, not this machine, what I thought was cool is we made a bezel that went in between the glass and the screen, so it showed as two different monitors. Most people that played it never realized that it was one screen. Kind of what we've done here, just a different concept, and I'll go over that. But on the one that I'm going to show a picture of in a second is a 43-inch vertical screen. It translated into a 33-inch 4x3, but it was in a vertical orientation, where this 34-inch is in a horizontal position. I know this is getting a little confusing for some of you guys, but I'll try to go over it and make sense. So, in the process of building that vertical prototype, playing with the software, we figured out that we could control the screen position of the game within any screen. So, to look at the cabinet, most people who walk up are none the wiser that there is only one screen in here. This has a 27.7-inch active marquee screen and a 34-inch 4x3 horizontal screen. This is all done through one screen. It actually has a 55-inch vertically mounted screen. So, if you look at it, this is the top of the screen. We put a divide. We spaced it out through the software and CAD for the bezel so we could place where the horizontal portion of the 4x3 area is along with the active marquee. With the 55-inch screen, bottom of the bezel, 38% of the 55-inch screen actually goes in the bottom of the cabinet. And just a tad around where my finger is. Now I know that's a big waste of screen, but if you consider that in the process of doing it this way, one, you get a very large active marquee screen. You also get one of the biggest 4x3 correct aspect ratio screen areas to play on. And what's great about using the 55-inch screen for this project is they're readily available. They're not too expensive, especially when considering the cost of an active marquee. It's a really great size to play on. I'll put a picture in here. We actually built two prototypes at a 65-inch, which was a lot bigger than this cabinet. This cabinet stands about 6 foot tall, with the leg levelers attached up to the top of the cabinet. The 65-inch that we built, and I'll show a picture of it here in a second in the video, it stood about, I believe it was 6'3" or 6'4". It had the equivalent of a 32.75-inch active marquee screen and a 40-inch 4x3. It's great. It was good to play on. I CAD'd this particular model out for 3 sizes, 65, a 55, and a 75. The 65 was big. It was great. But if we went with the 75, it would stand, I believe, at 6'8", 6'7", 6'8". I'd have to look at our AutoCAD or our SolidWorks numbers to look at that. So it would have been the equivalent of a 46-inch 4x3 screen with a 38 and some change active marquee size, which would just be enormous. So I wanted to go with the 55, and we built this one, and I think the 55 is a perfect size. We could also scale it down. I really don't have any intentions of doing that, but if you scaled it down, you could make a great like 3/4 scale 1-up machine. We might do that in the future. Has a 4-player control panel. I call this a T panel. I know a lot of the other people in the community call it an aircraft carrier control panel, but that's a mouthful, so I like T panel. On here, we have Sanwa joysticks, LED buttons and trackball, and a laser engraved spinner dial that has the logo that matches the Retrocade. It's a great cabinet that has cool features that you don't see in a lot of other places, with the 4x3 screen and the active marquee. Since we're in the new shop, I intend on releasing videos and cool projects more often. Thanks for watching, guys.